You're listening to Brainbuster Radio.
Welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And here's your host, Conrad Cushman.
Hey everyone, David Conrad here, owner of the Gorilla Position Wrestle Store. We're an online store headquartered in San Antonio, Texas, bringing you the best and original wrestling shirts, accessories, collectibles, and more. We're glad to be partnering with Brainbuster Radio, and to thank them and to thank you, we're offering 10% off all purchases with the coupon code BRAINBUSTA. That's BRAINBUSTA. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under @GPWrestleStore, or check out our website, www.gpwrestlestore.com. Remember, when you want the best wrestling experience, you gotta hang out in Gorilla Position.
Everything Pro Wrestling, it's your boys from the Everything College Basketball Podcast and Facebook group. I'm Josh Burton, letting you all know that if you like the college game, that there's only one spot to come find all you need to know.
Yep, Josh, Peyton, and myself, Tyler. We are the three voices of ECB podcast and Facebook group. Peyton, tell them where they can find us and listen to us at.
Well, Tyler, you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and all other podcast hosting sites. Also, go join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups like Everything College Basketball.
So if you want everything you need to know about the collegiate game or have a passion for it, there's only one spot that you need to check out on a weekly basis or a daily basis with the Facebook group. That's Everything College Basketball. Now let's get back to Conrad informing you on everything pro wrestling and the workings around it.
Brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, it feels so good to be back on air with Brainbuster Radio. Thank you guys so much. First and foremost, I apologize to anybody who was expecting an episode, but it looks like on Tuesday, my wife started to go into labor. We had our baby on Wednesday. So 7/17, senior intern Conrad Cushman was born. So there you have it. That's why I missed last week. So hopefully you guys got to listen to some awesome podcasts on Brainbuster Radio, and I gave you a little bit of a break. But I'm back this week, and we're going to try something new this week. And I'll give you guys a little bit more of it once it's time to start it up. But I want to try something different this week, and I'll definitely be looking for feedback on it. If you guys want longer ones, shorter ones, this works, it doesn't work, let me know. I would appreciate it. You can do that on Twitter @EPW Show. Just give me some of your feedback on it. Also, guys, a lot of crazy things are happening in the world of wrestling. AEW has announced their television program for October 2nd. They're going to be on Wednesday nights. Does this mean that it'll be Wednesday Night Dynamite? Nothing else has really been announced except for the day and the time slot. But I'm very excited for this. Hopefully, this is something that I can sink my teeth into and look forward to reviewing. The G1 Climax has been absolutely nuts. I just finished watching Moxley versus Ishii, and that has been my favorite match of the tournament so far. Absolutely love it. I am a big Ishii guy, and Moxley has been tearing it up. I love the inclusion. This is one of the best tournaments all year in wrestling, and I can't say that I've been disappointed so far. It's really been fun, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from the G1. Now, before we get into today's show, guys, I do want to give a friendly reminder that we are doing some promotion with Four Corners Cards. Right now, they have a great deal going on. You get 10% off your set of Four Corners trading cards for independent pro wrestlers. Each month, a new set comes out with new stars, and if you use the code BBRADIO10, you will get 10% off today at fourcornerscards.com. So once again, that's BB Radio 10 for 10% off at fourcornerscards.com. They're really cool, though. You get trading cards for independent pro wrestlers, stuff that sometimes you don't get to see until they make it mainstream, but these guys are providing them for people now. And who knows, if you're a collector, they may be worth something one day, especially if we get the next Stone Cold Steve Austin or Hulk Hogan on one of those cards. It could happen. And speaking of things happening, I don't know if you guys know, but Wrestling Resurgence has a big show coming up August 31st. And if you're in the UK, you can get 15% off just by listening to Brainbuster Radio. And I'm going to tell you how right now. If you guys use the code Brainbuster15 today, you get to see Kanji versus Charlie Evans in their Iron Woman match. And I'm sure this is going to be one that you are not going to want to miss if you're in the UK. Once again, use the code Brainbuster15 and you will get to see that Iron Woman match. And that's BRAINBUSTA15. Guys, this Iron Woman match looks incredible. This whole card for Wrestling Resurgence is great. And they've been very good to Brainbuster Radio. So if you guys have the opportunity to save money and get to see an awesome wrestling show, you guys are going to definitely want to do it August 31st with Wrestling Resurgence. Today's episode, though, guys, that's why everybody is here. I want to try something different today. I want to try and do a watch along with you guys. So we're going to do kind of a countdown, go through what we're going to be watching. I'm sure by the title, you guys will eventually figure it out. We are going to be watching a match from 1994. WCW Saturday Night, Ric Flair versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I have very good memories of their 1994 matches, and this is how, as a kid, I wanted to go back and see their matches from 1989. I fell in love with some of these matches, and I used to enjoy watching WCW Saturday Night back when I had nothing to do as a kid on Saturdays. So it was a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys will be able to do the countdown with me, enjoy the match, and kind of give some feedback and tell me what you guys think of it too. We're just going to start with one match this week, but like I said, I'll be looking for feedback. Do you guys want to see a whole show done? Would you like to see me have a guest on while I do this and talk about it? It'll be a lot of fun. The hard thing is to make sure that you guys get the links for it. And I can do stuff with the WWE Network, but I need to know if you guys also have it because I don't want to produce content that you guys can't watch as well. So this is why we're going with some grainy YouTube footage today. But it's just a test session to see how this works out. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the countdown. All right, Brainbuster listeners, I'm back, and let's get ready to do this countdown. So I'm going to count it down from 5, and then when I say play, that's when we're going to all press it. So use the link, give you a second to get it all popped up, have it open, and let's get ready to count this thing down and get ready to play it. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Classic grainy footage here. We've got Michael Gary Capetta, I believe was his name, as the announcer here. Ricky, I love this Ricky the Dragon Steamboat theme. The man comes out with the fire. You know, one of my favorite things that I used to do as a kid while watching a lot of these matches here are I would try to like react it out. I used to have like the old WWF Hasbro figures, and I had this Ricky Steamboat where he was the dragon. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, where he was dressed up, but he had the red pants with the same thing across his chest. And I always tried to redo these matches, and I had the little like rubber action figures of the WCW guys. So I was always trying to recreate these matches. And I just remember having so much fun doing this. Ricky Steamboat, I don't know who taught him how to do that, but that's being committed to the gimmick right there. Ricky Steamboat, absolutely incredible. Someone who is very, very underappreciated these days. Sometimes I don't hear enough about the Dragon, but always good to see him. We got Tony Schiavone on commentary. I can't really hear who the other guy is. But we got classic Nature Boy Ric Flair getting ready to come out here. And I love the sliding doors that they used to use. So corny, but so cool at the same time. Good stuff, man. Got to give it up. This is all because of Eric Bischoff. But here is the Nature Boy Ric Flair. And this match took place on May 14th, 1994. And I wanted to do a match for this week's show for Brainbuster Radio that wouldn't really take up too much time, but also at the same time present itself in a serious note. They're using the classic WCW title. I prefer the big gold belt over that one. All right. Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat feeling each other out. These two have incredible chemistry, though, when it comes to their wrestling matches and everything else. And like I said, if you haven't seen their feuds from 1989, that's something that we could always go back and revisit too in a future episode for this. These guys are trading the near falls. I credit Ricky Steamboat and Flair, Macho Man, a lot of wrestlers with how this wrestling style is done with the near falls and incredible wrestling at the same time. Look at this. And WCW, all about the wrestling in these days, filled up this arena here. I believe these are all recorded too down by Disney as well, or was it? I believe it's Disney. I can't think. I don't think it was Universal Studios. I believe it was around Disney. They would record all of these matches and do everything, and it was more feasible for WCW. And it looks like they have a packed house as well, even though there's families there who are just on vacation, who maybe they want to cool off and they're just going in to watch some wrestling because it's in a hopefully an air-conditioned building. All right, we got Ric Flair walking back around here, feeling each other out still as they get ready to what are they doing here? Looks like a little test of strength, but Flair backs off, being the heel that he is. And around this time, Ric Flair had just came back from World Wrestling Federation. He had lost that Loser Leaves Town match with Mr. Perfect on Monday Night Raw. And it was kind of good to see Flair in WCW. When I see Ric Flair, I always think WCW. I really don't see him as a WWF guy at this time, especially. Now, Ricky Steamboat, someone who I really think of him as a WCW guy more so too than a WWF guy. Even though he did some great things in the 80s, I just feel like they never treated Ricky Steamboat correctly after he had left and they had the issues with him leaving to go be with his wife when he was the Intercontinental Champ. Ric Flair. Look at that rollover right there. That was pretty athletic. And what I love about these matches as well is once you've wrestled each other so many times, you start to bring out different elements in the matches because Flair knows he's got to add a little oomph to it. And I like that little roll through into the single leg crab right here. Fans are heavily behind Steamboat in this. I honestly don't think he was, I don't know what Flair was thinking right there. I honestly believe that Steamboat has never been a heel either. He has always been very, very focused on doing the right thing as a character, always playing towards the people. And Ricky Steamboat's he just seems like a good guy. Very hard to hate. Takedown. Steamboat showing the power there. Way to hold on to Flair. And an amazing press slam from Ricky Steamboat. Bobby the Brain Heenan talking about the power. Bobby Heenan added so much to the commentary team too. And it's so weird to think Heenan, I believe he was there when Flair left and came back to WCW. And then Flair all of a sudden wound up back in WCW. And here comes Heenan. And Mean Gene and a bunch of people just seemed like they went with Flair. Like Flair's exodus led to like Hogan, Savage, and everybody coming over here. And this is like that in-between time where you're getting these great matches with Flair being back. And right back to work on the arm here. So you have to be a fan of wrestling matches, and hopefully we're going to see a lot of psychology in this. I honestly haven't watched this match since its probably original air date. Steamboat and Flair have this amazing chemistry. Good moves here. See, I don't know if fans today would appreciate this type of match when you have to see exactly the pain being put on a wrestler and you kind of have to wait for the story to be told. There's no tope suicidas. Uh-oh. Colonel Robert Parker's here. Okay. It looks like they're doing some angle here with money. Good arm drag by Ricky Steamboat, one of the best at that. So Colonel Robert Parker obviously has some money and he is trying to get someone in to take this. I'm not too sure of who this was during this time. Oh, see, now things are getting heated here. Slaps across the face between both of these guys. I think by the end of this, we're going to see people really into this match. Woo! Steamboat slapping the fire out of Nature Boy Ric Flair. Flair into the corner. Classic back body drop by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And here comes the begging. Oh, yeah. And Flair takes the low road, as a heel always should, as you watch the psychology of these matches. And it looks like Flair is taking the walk around the ring to get his breath back. But I think these two can go 60 minutes if they need to for this. They are doing some good things. Randy Anderson, the referee here. I always thought that he was WCW's best official, someone you could always appreciate. I like that the count stopped because of Steamboat pressing towards the ropes, refs telling him to get back. You miss the little things in wrestling too to do it. As I've interviewed Doug Markham on here, he does a lot of things too, where guy may be on top of the corner punching someone in the head. I like the fact that Doug Markham will get out of the ring and administer his count, yelling at the guy to get down so that the guy can see him. Little things like that make a big difference in here. And Randy Anderson definitely had that. I always remember him wearing the sneakers too, and just having a very profound count and something that you can hear. Look at him move around. Oh, come on, Ric. Ric Flair with a punch to the gut right there. If you guys are following along, we should be at the 9-minute and 45-second mark almost at this point. And Flair is picking up Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And, oh, here come those nasty Flair chops. And Steamboat looks like he is hurting from them. All right. And hopefully this is some of the action we're going to be getting with AEW as they get back on the TNT starting October 2nd. Got to give them a plug here, man. I'm just happy to see more wrestling. It's better for the wrestlers, better for us as fans. And it's always a good thing when there's lots of options for wrestling. Ric Flair getting the fist in there. See, look at Randy Anderson has the tape on his fingers. He's getting in there like, hey, no punching. I like it. And that distinct count. Come on, ref. Ref's on the wrong side, so we can't see Flair getting the punches in. But Randy Anderson knows that they're happening. And Bobby Heenan, it wouldn't hurt to rearrange Steamboat's face. You're killing me. Killing me, bro. Steamboat into the corner. Nice segue into a commercial break. Please, somebody show WWE how to do this so we don't get 2 out of 3 falls, 6-man tag matches anymore. Steamboat down to the floor here. Flair looks like he's in pursuit, but the ref is pushing him back. See, I like it. A neutral referee administering the rules. And Steamboat, I'm not sure what he's looking at right there, but Flair just caught him. That must be dumb babyface syndrome. Love the chops in front of the people to show that, hey, maybe this isn't fake. Ric Flair is chopping Steamboat down. Good stuff. Flair goes for a cover here. Steamboat. Okay, we're getting near falls, but I like that Flair is continuously penning him. Good announcing there by Tony Schiavone, talking about the weight not being centered on Steamboat, so he can't keep the shoulders down. Arm drags being hung on to each other. Good stuff. This seems like a good drill. See, this is stuff I have not seen someone do this in years in wrestling matches. And this is where I think a lot of wrestlers can get ideas from classic matches like this. Steamboat, nice kip up here. I can honestly tell you I've never been able to do a kip up, but I always think it's the coolest looking thing in the world. And Ricky Steamboat coming back with the chops. And here goes Steamboat on the top. It's got to be for 10-1. Ooh, dropped for an atomic drop by the Nature Boy. I'm waiting to see if Flair starts working on the legs to set up the figure 4 leg lock here. Oh, what a right hand by Ric Flair. Ric Flair delivers a really good right hand. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on Brainbuster Radio, but some of the best punches in the business, in my opinion, and I'm sorry, Badlands, if I'm ever on, I will definitely bring this up, but I have to go with Jerry the King Lawler, Bret the Hitman Hart, and Ric Flair. And I don't know who my fourth would be quite yet, but they throw some really good punches. Roman Reigns is up there too for someone who I like how they throw their punches. I also have my list of worst people, but we'll save that conversation about John Cena for another day. Flair putting the feet on the ropes as the fans are trying to tell on him. Flair reacts. Chops the Steamboat. Bobby Heenan selling up the fact that the WCW world title is on the line, and Ric Flair is nervous about that, as he should be. Anytime your title's on the line, you could lose it, is how you have to go in there and proceed to tell the match. Another back body drop. Oh, and Flair moves out of the way of a drop kick from Ricky Steamboat. And are we going to see that patented knee drop? Ooh, elbow, but he misses. Ricky Steamboat. Oh. And Tony Schiavone trying to add in that extra emphasis on the pinfall that took place due to a not correctly applied body slam by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I feel like I'm commentating. Shout out to Josh Robinson. I'm sure we'll be doing a SummerSlam stream for you guys on Twitch eventually as well. We've got some great things lined up with our Twitch that is happening right now. If you guys aren't following at Brainbuster TV, make sure you guys give that a follow on Twitter so that you can find out what's going on our Twitch stream all the time. But we've got some good stuff here. Same thing for me. I've had a bunch of people subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am probably 41 subs away from the goal. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, youtube.com, and there will be a link in the description. You can type in everything pro wrestling and I'll pop up first. But make sure you guys subscribe. It greatly helps me. Once I get to the 1K, it'll be great. But my goal is 500 right now before SummerSlam. What a chop by Ric Flair right there. Steamboat. He fell on the hardest part of the ring, the apron. Oh, chop back. Sunset flip. Flair going for the punch. Very good sell right there of the sunset flip. And Flair just gets out. He hit that body slam that time. Look at the crispness. Like the Randy Anderson slide is perfect. Him and Nick Patrick, probably the best two referees that WCW had, minus Nick Patrick botching the Starrcade 97 finish. Ugh. Angers me. And I don't know what's happening here, but the referee helps Steamboat off of Flair's legs. Flair goes for a jackknife. Only two right there. Right now, guys, if you are just joining us, we are about to hit the 17-minute mark. I am at 16:55 as we speak. Flair is on the top rope getting elbowed by Steamboat. And I'm sure we're about to see a potential superplex here from Ricky Steamboat. And we're about to see a great superplex here. Excellent, excellent. If you guys don't know, Ric Flair always bumps to the side like that because of a plane crash he was involved in. I believe it was in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, late 70s, plane crash, and he had to have back surgery on his back. And if you look, you could always see like a piece bulging out of his back as well. But Flair, always able to work, always busted his ass for the fans to put on a good match. And I think that's what we're seeing so far here. Oh, my Lord. Ricky Steamboat did a good job selling those knees to the ribs right there. Both men are down. And Bobby Heenan just brought up that Colonel Robert Parker is still out there with the briefcase. So I don't know how that's going to play into the finish here or the money, but Colonel Robert Parker, always with the cigar. Always one of those managers that I don't know why was never my and the referee is missing Ric Flair gaining leverage from his foot being on the rope. And Steamboat reverses. Tony Schiavone really getting into this. What I love about these matches are, too, it reminds me of those WCW television title matches with the near falls, the time limits, things that were brought into AEW a little bit recently with the Darby Allin Cody Rhodes match that really makes things work. And I love it. Absolutely love it. All right, Ric Flair pulling Steamboat over. Flair to the middle rope. This is definitely different. Knee drop. Flair and Triple H always give some good knee drops. They're up there with Joe and AJ Styles do too. Really good stuff. I'm trying to think of who else was in the main event scene in WCW at this time. I think Sting was kind of in that U.S. television title division. He could be bumped up. Vader, I think, was still around during this time. I don't think Vader had left quite yet. And Hogan, I don't know if Hogan was here or when he had joined WCW. Let me see here. I'm going to take a quick look to see when this happened. Hulk Hogan. They have this on HulkHogan.com. It says June 11th. So Hogan, this is right before Hogan gets in because I believe he has a big match that happens at Bash at the Beach, I believe is his debut with they kind of recreate WrestleMania 1 in a way. Bobby Heenan. Half of them hate Steamboat. Good heel managers. I don't know how the referee can see the other side of the shoulders. There he goes. Randy Anderson paying attention then to see maybe the shoulders through the gap between Flair's arms. But good wrestling so far in this one. Can't really complain. Can't really complain at all about this one. We've got a sleeper hold applied at this moment. All right, excuse me getting that drink there. I am at 21:15. Flair still has this sleeper applied right now on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That's one. There's two. And if that hand falls on the Converses, oh, wow. Steamboat is hanging in there. He grabbed him by the Converses and by his pants. I think he's telling Randy Anderson he's still in this. Heenan saying Steamboat's counting sheep from the sleeper hold. Very rarely do you see anybody win with that. I think the last person I remember actually winning with the sleeper hold was Dolph Ziggler when they were trying to kind of reestablish the move. Oh, great camera shot right there, too, from behind the ring post. Very well done. I don't know if that is by a machine or a person. Yeah, it looks like it's on a crane. But I like that side camera view. Very well done. Flair took the bump. Steamboat is trying to recover. But here comes Flair with a double axe handle to eat a chop here. And this is where things are going to heat up in their matches. This is where things are going to get really, really good, in my opinion. And they went to another break. And Steamboat is on the floor, gets right back in. What a chop. These two are exchanging them. And here comes the comeback maybe for Ricky Steamboat, we hope here. Flair does his classic flip. Steamboat chop to the floor he goes. And now the fans are really getting into it. Like I said, you could tell all those folks on the hard camera side in the white shirts, they're there for a vacation, a church retreat, or something else. Steamboat off the top, but Flair caught him and he's holding his leg. He took a high risk there. Somebody's getting suplexed. Flair suplexed on the mat. I like it. I like Flair screaming because it's out on the floor. That is not emphasized enough that you do not want to get slammed out on the floor, hence why they have the ring. Ric Flair making his movement to get back into the ring here. Remember, folks, titles are not won by countouts or disqualifications or draws. And Ricky Steamboat, palm thrust. And we're about to see a potential suplex to the inside of the ring. Oh, Rick lands on his feet. Love it. And the reason I picked this match too is just like I said, that 1989 like trilogy of matches are what everybody talks about in regards to their WCW matches. But this also made me fall in love with their matches. The chemistry can be seen during this time period. Steamboat, I don't know where he's dragging him. Is he taking him to the ring post? And Flair gets his right leg slammed into the post. And this is for the WCW World Heavyweight title. Heenan's complaining that the ref needs to do something about this. Heenan trying to get that manager influence that he's always had. Love it. Ricky Steamboat pulling a chiropractor move right there. Good stuff. Good stuff here. So now Flair's legs being worked on. Steamboat has everything going in his favor at this moment. Steamboat going for his own version of the figure four. Classic move theft. And Flair's in the middle of the ring. Where is he going to go? Flair is down. And he hangs in. I love that they gave this match time. Because sometimes back in the day, they used to love to play off of the, we'll have to wait and see what happens later, folks. And down. Oh. So we're seeing lots of near falls from this figure four leg lock here as Flair is inching over towards the ropes. If you guys are still following along with me, we should be at 26:30. It's a little after that now, but 26. Let me see where we're at. We're coming up on 26:40. Flair just got his hands kicked from the ropes by Randy Anderson. I don't know why he would do that, because he was trying to break the hold. Heenan is upset. The same thing I just said about kicking his hands off the ropes. I love that they're making sense of this. This is stuff greatly missed in wrestling today. And Steamboat is tearing up Ric Flair's right leg right now. Flair is begging off. And the great thing, no blood in this one yet. Just pure athletic competition. Steamboat trying to decide what he's going to do here. Flair counters another figure four, as you should be the smartest person to know how to counter your own finisher for applying it all the time. Ric Flair is eating the chops from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And the classic Flair flop. I love it. 2. There's lots of pinfalls in this. I would love to know if somebody could tell me how many near falls have occurred in this match. So they go to another commercial break. We are back. Steamboat is flying off the top, and he just crashes and burns. Ric Flair has to take advantage here, is what Bobby the Brain Heenan is screaming about. What a matchup that is still going on. From the entrances and everything else, we are almost 30 minutes in at this point. We're at the 28:36 mark. Flair is getting up. And Ric Flair with a double stomp. Some would say a coup de grace to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat here. Still no signs of Colonel Robert Parker. He hasn't really been shown too much again here. So wondering if that plays into the finish at all of this match. And we're seeing a suplex here. Good job by the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Steamboat is selling it. He is still licking his wounds from before, but Ric Flair is also selling his leg being hurt. He's selling the left leg too. Very, very different. So I don't know if his other leg was worked on, but see, during the commercial breaks, we don't know what was going on back at that time. So maybe he worked on that leg, maybe not. Steamboat gives a knee to the head for a kick out. And here we go. We're getting the chops. And they are exchanging blows. Goodness. These guys have had incredible matches in Japan. In I believe it was AJPW. Great matches. Figure 4 leg lock by Ric Flair. Is he about to retain his title? On the dirtiest player in the game, grabbing the middle rope here to gain some leverage. And now he's going for the top rope. Steamboat is sweating. Flair is sweating. Randy Anderson sees the rope shaking, asking. Sometimes you wonder about these referees, man. He's hanging on, but the fans are really getting upset a little bit. It sounds like that Flair is using the ropes. Flair caught using the ropes, and Randy Anderson is going to force a break here for some illegal leverage. Steamboat having a hard time standing, but Flair is right back to work on his legs. He is zeroing in on being able to apply that figure 4 leg lock here. And he picks him up again to drop him on his leg. And I believe I saw some footage of the AJPW match between these two. That was hard stuff to get a hold of back in the day without knowing someone who was a tape trader or someone involved in the wrestling business. It was very hard to get New Japan Pro Wrestling, Michinoku Pro, even Noah. Flair pressed off the rope. Steamboat's got the fans behind him. And I think he looks like he wants to win the world title here. Ricky Steamboat climbs up to the middle rope here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he plays up for the 10. And they cut to some girls in the crowd who are watching, looking at Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Ric Flair going at it. Always smart of the cameraman to find pretty girls in the crowd to show that there are pretty girls at wrestling, especially when a lot of males at the time were going to these events. And it looks like you see a great diversified crowd here, too. You have families, it looks like. But like I said, they're also at Disney, so they're all probably out there for that. Stun gun. And Flair just flops, looking like he plays in the NBA. But you back to my diversification comment. You've got so many different types of people there. It's in the South. You've got everybody there really into this. And like I said, it's always important to get those camera shots of whether it's a cool guy, somebody dressed up as a fan, somebody with a cool sign that works that is good for your promotion. What a reversal by Steamboat. Steamboat with the sleeper locked on Ric Flair. You want to show the best for your company on the camera side, and I think they did a good job with that here. What is Flair going to do to get out of this sleeper? He's going in a circle right now. Yep, there he goes. And a back body drop by Ric Flair. Both guys are down. Randy Anderson is diminishing his double count for both men being down. Always a high point in these matches. Flair is stirring. I have watched enough of those pro wrestling docs where people go to schools. I believe it was Goldust or Dustin Runnels who said that Shawn Michaels taught him you do not move until 7 or 8 to get people into it. Steamboat, amazing strength. Oh, I thought we were getting a backslide there, but Steamboat audibles out of it into a superplex. Nope, he puts him on the rope. Maybe he's going for another top rope suplex. Lots of fists. Randy Anderson is diminishing his count here. Telling him to get out. Steamboat going to the top. And it's Flair. He looks like he's fighting him. And another superplex on Ric Flair. They zoom in. Look at the pain on his face. Amazing. Same guy we just saw at Raw Reunion in this match. Doing his thing. Both guys are down. 35 minutes. And what is the mark? We are at 35 seconds right now. We get a pinfall. 1, 2. Foot on the ropes. And it looked like Flair suckered him in by putting his foot on the ropes. And Steamboat has another moment of dumb babyface syndrome. And Bobby Heenan bringing up a good point. Know the ring like it's your home for the psychological point. Okay. Back body drop for the pin. Flair gets his shoulder up. Fans are beginning to stir. You can hear it. Steamboat on the top. Chop across the head. And another near fall for Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I always thought Ricky Steamboat's finisher felt like it was that cross body block. Another chop to Ric Flair's head. And a kick out by Ric Flair again. These near falls have been great. Flair is begging for Steamboat to stop right now. Off the ropes. Another press. Classic spot he used to do with Sting all the time. Like I said, this is WCW. This one is heavily wrestling, so I did have to talk about some of the action in the ring here. Crossbody. Randy Anderson is in the way. He is down. 2, 3. Steamboat has counted the pinfall himself, but there is nobody there to count it for him. And apparently all the other referees in the back are too busy in catering. Flair with the roll-up. Steamboat kicks out at a 2. Roll-up. And remember, Ricky Steamboat did win with a roll-up to win the Intercontinental title from Macho Man. So Steamboat's roll-ups are very convincing. It could happen at any time. Oh, we had a little O'Connor roll there, but he could not do it. Chop from Flair. And down goes Ricky Steamboat. Flair hops over and kicks him. I like it. Normally you get the spot where they leapfrog back over here, but showing how tired both these men are. They've been going at it for almost, it's got to be over 30 minutes at this point. They have not said anything about a time limit. Whoa. Kick out. And we got the TBS Superstation logo popping up here. And they both have collided into each other. Steamboat went for a leapfrog, and Flair's head went right into his guts. And we've got a pin. And Ric Flair picks up the win. That was different. You see a lot of fans booing the Nature Boy Ric Flair there. He caught him basically on a leapfrog spot, and he got headbutted. We don't know if it was in the abdomen or perhaps in the family jewels, but let's see here. They're going back to the instant replay. The crossbody block where Randy Anderson is down. 1, 2, 3. He gets nothing there. Ric Flair ends up getting that nail to the abdomen. We're not going to see it again. It could have been the abdomen, could have been a low blow. Steamboat is holding down low, and Ric Flair picks up the victory there. Just a very different match that we just got to see. One that I did not expect to see that ending for, but still something totally awesome. Let me know what you guys thought of the match. I know we went a little old school with it. We went back to 1994, but I thought it was a fun match. I remember watching that one as a kid and really being into it, and I just was while watching it. Lots of fun stuff in there and lots of minor things that you didn't notice, like Flair grabbing the other leg, Randy Anderson sliding into all the action, making sure he was there to make all the counts and do everything else. I really thought that this one was fun. If you guys are enjoying these watch-alongs, I will gladly take suggestions for some matches, ones that you guys would be interested in watching. And like I said, I can use the WWE Network. I also have New Japan World. We can watch something on there as well. You guys let me know what you want to see for the next watch-along on Everything Pro Wrestling. We have some big things lined up. Like I said, we have a big stream coming up in August. You guys are not going to want to miss it. Go to @BrainBustaTV to find out all the latest with that happening. And I'll be back next Saturday to give you guys another dose of everything that's going on in the world of pro wrestling. Thank you guys so much for being good to me, especially the Brainbuster Radio team and everybody who interacts with us. I'm out, guys. Have a good weekend.